Welcome to Bookwings South Africa. This is the fourth year that we have had the good luck at the International Writing Program to bring together playwrights from distant parts of the world with American playwrights for a unique theatrical experience. We will be broadcasting live here in Iowa City and at the University of Cape Town, a distance of 9,000 miles, 7 hours time difference. And from what I understand, the weather's pretty similar today in Cape Town to what it will be here maybe in a month. 70 degrees, 24 degrees centigrade. We can dream of good weather. This project takes place under the auspices of the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the U.S. State Department, and I'm deeply grateful to our friends in Washington as well as the people at the embassy in Pretorius and the consulate in Cape Town, and most of all to Mike van Graan, who comes to us from the African Arts Institute. When we conceived of this project, we thought 25 years after Nelson Mandela was released from prison, what would happen if we bring together American and South African playwrights to explore in short plays a common theme? And the theme we hit on was release. So what you will see today, moving from stage to stage, from Iowa City to Cape Town and back, will be 6 different takes on this very suggestive idea of release. This could not happen without an extraordinary number of talented individuals who are thanked in the Bookwings program, which members of the audience have, and you can download at our website, iwp.uiowa.edu. At the conclusion of the performance, we'll have a talk back. We'll be entertaining questions from the audiences in Iowa City and in Cape Town, and we invite all of our viewers around the world, particularly those at watch parties in Ghana, in the University of York, in England, and at Kirkwood Community College to tweet us questions at #BookW. That's #BookW. Those questions we'll entertain at the end of our time together. So just a reminder to silence your cell phones unless you're watching over the internet, then you can do whatever you like with your cell phone. And now I'm going to kick it over to our colleagues in Cape Town. My fellow host is Professor Mark Fleischman from the Drama Department at the University of Cape Town. He's the program convener for theaters and for theater and performance. He's the co-artistic director of the Magnet Theater. He teaches across a range of theoretical and practical courses, and his research includes work on physical theater, interactive dramaturgy, site-specific community-based performance and technology, and live performance. And I can't wait to see what you folks have put together for us over in Cape Town. Over to you, Mark.
Hi, good evening. This is very weird. Good evening, Christopher, and everybody in Iowa. Greetings from Cape Town. We are very happy to be part of this very interesting and exciting project. And thank you very much in advance from all of us for including us in this year's event. I hope that technically this is all working and you can hear us there. Can you just signal that you can? Am I talking into a void?
We have you. You are so clear, both visually and acoustically. We're thrilled.
Okay, so yeah. We're going to kick off the performance proceedings tonight with the first of the 6 plays. And the first play, as you will see in your program, is entitled Waiting for Marcel by Peter Ulian, who, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who wrote this play, obviously based in the United States, in Iowa. And it was directed in Cape Town by Jeffrey Hyland, the head of the Department of Drama at the University of Cape Town, and will be performed by 3 of our graduating acting students, Skalk Bezuidenhout, Donna Cormack-Thompson, and Roberta Meyer.
Are you sure this is the right place?
Assuredly.
Not that section of blasted heath over there.
The blasted heath, with a mound of earth, with a barren tree upon it, bereft of all but one lone leaf.
Why do you suppose that one lone leaf clings like that? Despite the discouragement of the weather in the war.
I couldn't say. Habit, I suppose.
I don't think you give our brave little leaf enough credit, sir. The year it clings, whilst all around is devastation. Have it you say? Resistance, I say. Resistance is why the leaf clings.
We are talking about a leaf, you know that, don't you?
When will they be here?
See,
Can we trust them?
have we any other choice?
We shouldn't have left. Why did we have to leave?
Well, the Gestapo are certainly a motivating
No,
factor.
not Paris, Jean Frey.
It's August.
No, not January, Jean Frey, the village.
We had overstayed our welcome.
No, you had overstayed your welcome. You walked into the kitchen every day with your chamber pot just as we
I was
the
up
other
all
night.
night. I was working on what?
You and your novel.
I thought you loved what?
What you love what? It's genius. That's not the point. The old lady in the house called you a madman in Russian.
You speak Russian.
I feel murdering me.
I begged you to wear some sensible shoes.
Bonsoir. Well, I must say, I thought I'd never find you. Upon the blasted heath, they said. You will find them upon the blasted heath. But which section of blasted heath? Ah, the whole landscape is a blasted bloody heath. By the tree, they said. Which tree? That's a boom, there's more than one. The one that's all scraggly and bare. They are all scraggly and bare. The one that yet displays one lone leaf, bravely withstanding the winds of weather and the winds of war. They said, a noble leaf, not in appearance certainly, shriveled and dry as it is, but in spirit, the most noblest leaf of all creation. Well, if you go in for that sort of thing, creation, I mean. So you are the Irishman.
Well, that remains to be seen.
What remains to be seen?
Well, who you are, monsieur, still a mystery.
No. There's no mystery about me at all. I know fully well who I am. I am the man who's supposed to meet the Irishman and his companion. Are you or are you not the Irishman?
That is the question.
Okay, this is ridiculous. How many Irishmen can there be in the spot of France? Huh?
Well, maybe the spot of France is bloody lousy with Irishmen.
Is that likely?
We live in strange and terrible times, my friend.
Listen, I'm looking for an Irishman whose angular feature, who looks not a little bit like a rooster.
I always said you look like a rooster.
Suzanne, traveling with a lady companion who goes by the name of Suzanne.
Is he a writer, your Irishman?
It's not my bloody Irishman.
Is he a writer?
Yes, I am told. A failed one.
Well, I must say, it's very nervy of you.
He is not a failed writer, your Irishman. He is a published author. More bricks than kicks. Published in 1938 to great acclaim.
Never heard of it.
Murphy.
Who's Murphy? Ah, is Murphy the Irishman?
His novel, published in 1938 to great acclaim.
Never heard of it either. So you are the Irishman?
I am the Irishman, if you are Marcel.
I'm not Marcel. I'm Gaston.
Well, then perhaps I'm not the Irishman. We were told you would be Marcel.
I've never been Marcel. I've always been Gaston.
Then why didn't they say Marcel?
Marcel has been indisposed.
Do you mean
Indisposed.
or
Indisposed.
Do you people always talk like this?
you did not say he was indisposed? Would you bring to mind a condition of indigestion, or perhaps influenza, or ague, or dare even imagine gout? But you said he has been indisposed, as if the indisposition were an act perpetrated upon him by others.
By which others?
Well, That depends, does it not?
Depends. Depends on what?
If you are of one, shall we say, persuasion, or perhaps if you prefer, allegiance, or even, shall we say, affiliation, then the other is an entity in opposition to that for which you claim allegiance and affiliation. But if you claim allegiance and affiliation to its opposite, its shadow, its photographic negative, as it were, then the other is quite the reverse.
Yeah. Does he always talk like this?
He's a genius.
That must be why I can't make head nor tail of what he says.
Are you?
Gestapo.
Me? Gestapo? How dare you, monsieur?
Well, you're not Marcel.
Just because I'm not Marcel doesn't mean I'm Gestapo. Not every bloody Frenchman who isn't Marcel is a bloody collaborator, you know?
Well, then how was it that Marcel became indisposed?
Look, all I know is that I'm to transport the Irishman and his lady companion in the boot of my car past the checkpoint of Chalon-sur-Saône that separates the occupied zone from the unoccupied zone, and then onto the village of Roussillon. I am the passeur, monsieur. Now, are you or are you not the Irishman who in 1938 was stabbed in the chest and nearly killed by a pump named Prudence?
A pimp named Prudence.
Prudence the pump.
How do you know about that? How does he know about that?
It was in all the papers.
Well, as you would remember, such a mortifying event. Oh, I'm nobody. I'm a failed writer.
You are not a failed writer. More bricks than kicks. Murphy.
No one read them. Gaston didn't read them.
Well, Gaston doesn't strike me as much of a reader.
Hey, I read the racing form.
Sam, the novel you're working on. What?
What?
Yes,
He's working on what?
exactly.
What is he working on?
Precisely so.
What is the title?
Yes!
Yes is the title.
No, are you simple? What is the title?
That's what I'm asking you.
What are you asking me?
The title.
I just told you.
You don't know the
Of
title.
course I do. It's what?
The title is what?
As I said.
What? W-A-T-T, what?
Ah, what? Funny title for a book.
It's genius. It's genius. It'll make you famous.
So you are the Irishman that...
Were he the Irishman that you speak of, and I his beautiful Gallic travelling companion? We have been on foot, walking at night, sleeping on haystacks during the day. Our feet are so swollen, we cannot even take off our boots. Ever since a Catholic priest betrayed our resistance unit and we had to flee Paris. The rest of our cell either in hiding or undergoing torture at the hands of the Gestapo. So you will perhaps forgive us if the fact that you are Gaston and not Marcel makes us a wee bit edgy.
Insuspicious.
You are damnably correct, sir.
Man must take a leap of faith, writes Kierkegaard. But what if a man has no faith?
You don't believe in God?
It's not that he doesn't believe in God, monsieur. It's that he isn't exactly sure that God believes in us.
Well, where do you suppose you're to leave the resistance after?
Across the border into the unoccupied zone. Onto Roussillon, I imagine. There the little leaf will likely take a room at the widow's Pierre's guest house. The widow is strong of opinion, but good of heart. And she does all the cooking for her guests herself. It's peasant fare, not the sort you Parisian types are used to maybe, but good enough for that leaf. Hungry as it is, coq au feu, pot de fer, ratatouille, and beurre bourguignon. Although the buff is a little hard to come by these days. The rooms in the Hotel Escoffier are drafty, and there's mice, but not too many fleas. And the leaf can put its head on a pillow at night instead of on a haystack, and hang up its socks and air out its boot, and both will be dry in the morning. And twice a day, the leaf can gather with the locals around the stove in the back kitchen and listen to the BBC on the wireless and find out who's winning the war.
You know we're talking about a bloody leaf, don't you?
There's food and shelter and men and women of the resistance waiting in Roussillon. The leaf can blow in on the wind. You need me. Shall we?
Yes. Let's. Prudent. What? The pimp's name was Prudent, not Prudence. What kind of a name is Prudence for a pimp?
Thank you, South Africa. Wonderful performance. And now we're going to move it over here to Iowa City. And we have a play called Sickawa Street by Katori Hall, directed by Alan McVeigh, who is the chairman of our Performing Arts Division. And it will be acted by Tish Jones, Dimitri Taylor, and Nikki Charisse Franco.
Where's that rebel?
Oh! Have you heard?
They're still counting the ballots. Won't know until midnight.
Who did you vote for?
Nomawatu, what kind of fool do you take me for? The winner, of course.
But neighbor, you've been wrong before.
Yes, because I couldn't vote before.
Felt good, didn't it?
Oh, yes. Come out with me. Join us in the celebration. Get on your dancing shoes.
You are surely sure of your pick.
Confidence creates revolution.
I must feel this aching belly of mine first. Fuel for celebration.
Me too. My feet stood in line for voting all morning and stood on them all day till night at the hospital. But I don't care. I don't care. I will dance till my toes crack with blood when I hear the good news.
Madiba, God willing, will win.
Or I shall kill them all.
Hey, come back. You know my door is always open.
We interrupt this broadcast for an election update. Nelson Mandela of the African National Congress is now showing a considerable edge in the polls with 55% of the vote. However, rumors of violence have kept many South Africans, black and white, at home. Corruption is said to be widespread, and poorly prepared voting locals have made standing in long lines the norm, rather than the exception during South Africa's first democratic elections.
I had to carry my mother on my back here to Port Elizabeth. We've been standing in line all night.
Signing off with BBC News.
There you are. I've been waiting for you.
Sorry, Mom. Didn't mean to cause you worry.
So you know you make me worry.
Yes, I do.
You did this when you were in my womb.
Mama.
Would sit quiet for weeks and then all of a sudden knock on my tummy to make your presence known.
Knock? I don't knock.
You are right. You do not knock. You come in uninvited, unawares.
Mama,
It
please.
looks ugly on you.
Please, Mama.
Eat. Eat. I won't have you sputtering out on us when Madiba wins.
Who are we waiting for?
You know who. Why do you have to ask such stupid questions?
I ask stupid questions to challenge stupid actions.
Your sister must eat.
Memories do not eat.
Yes, my little rebel, they do. They eat dreams. They eat days, sunsets, and sunrises. Memories need their posho and beans. Memories have big appetites. Besides, it's a special occasion.
Mama, really?
How did it feel
What do you mean?
when you cast your ballot today? Your first time.
What do you want me to say?
How it felt for you.
It felt very different for me than I think for you, Mama.
True, it costs more for me, but you will benefit from the investment of my tears. You may not know the meaning of this momentous occasion, but in time, in due time, it will, I promise, reveal its consequences. Just give me a tiny morsel. How did it feel?
It felt like nothing. I didn't vote.
What do you mean you didn't vote?
That's what I said. I didn't vote.
I know you didn't want to vote for Madiba, but you could have at least voted for that Bethelisi guy you call a hero.
Who says I wanted to vote for him?
I've seen those pamphlets in your room, on those sagging shelves, stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Okata party. Sickening. He would have dragged this...
Madiba is an abomination.
And you are a disgrace if I've ever seen one. A disgrace, my son, a disgrace. Here is your one moment to use your hands to change history, and you let the cup slip from your lips like a wet whisper. How can I call you a son?
Well, you better call me that, since I am your only son, the only one you have left.
Put that down.
Memory is not hungry today. She is satiated.
I said put that down. You are hell-bent on crushing my dreams today. Please, let's eat, and then we can celebrate Madiba's winning. I will not tell them you didn't vote.
You want me to pretend?
I want you to forget.
Never forget, Mama. You never forget.
When
Why should I?
When Madiba comes to office, they will all get their due. He said, all those who have been persecuted will be heard.
What about the ones who are not here to speak?
We will have to speak for them plain and simple.
Plain, but not simple.
We will speak for Timba.
I already have. I'm sorry.
What have you done, my son?
Mama, I'm sorry.
My poor Busey, what have you
You
done?
always said there would be spills. Mistakes, blood, mistakes, bloodshed, fighting, protest, and chance. I got tired of waiting. Memory got tired of waiting. It needed to be heard right then, right now.
Did anyone see you?
No,
How do you know?
I made sure of it.
You could have made a mistake.
They trained me well, Mama.
So it's true. You belong to them, the Okata. I'm gonna be sick.
I'm no different than Madiba.
Don't use his name. You have no right to use his name.
He is a terrorist.
And what are you?
I am justice. I am closure. He has lost himself.
And in that loss, it'll make a country great.
I will get away with everything that I went to go and do when I went
Murder!
She was only 12. 12 years old. Just a schoolgirl. Didn't know what she was chanting, but she chanted the loudest. No Africans! No Africans! It's all we wanted. To speak the tongue we inherited from our mothers and fathers. We were oh so young. Schoolgirls and boys. Potential on feet. Marching down this very street. Sycamore Street. And then asphalt turned into graveyards as we fell. Hearts sliced by bullets. Dreams disappearing like flour, blown through prison bars. It was Van Zyl who ordered it. Ordered the first shot. He never admitted, but I knew. I knew.
You are not God.
Madiba is not either.
You'll never get away with killing a boss. Boss Van Zyl, he is the commissioner of this township. A commissioner, for God's sake. Someone must have seen you.
Keep saying that. Someone will.
I hope you are punished for your crime.
There can be no reconciliation for what there was never any truth about.
Someone will have to pay for this.
Is that a wish?
A fact.
It's like you want me to get caught.
I don't know what I want.
You wanted me to vote. I did something better with these schoolboy hands of mine. Something that will make a difference.
And what are you now?
Powder. Gone.
Hand it to me.
And you.
Hand it to me.
This will make you an accessory.
I'm your mother and you are my son. I'm already complicit. They are here! They are here!
He's president! Madiba is president! Number 2! Open! Let me in! Madiba is president! Madiba is president! Number 2! Open the door! Number 2!
Okay, so while we're doing a quick stage change here, I'll say just a couple of words about the history of this project. We've had the good luck to work with the Moscow Art Theatre for 3 years, and if you go to the IWP's website, again that's iwp.uiowa.edu, you will find your way to a book that we've put together of the 20 plays written over those 3 years. We also had the good luck to work in Shanghai and last year in Baghdad for Bookwings Iraq. And the most amazing thing when I think back on the experience of these 4 years is that we now have 40 new plays that were not in the world before we embarked on this journey that has taken us around the world. So, over to our friends in Cape Town. Mark?
Right, that's better. I've been asked to make it clear to the audience here the format of how the plays were actually selected, and to explain that each of the 2 locations were asked to select one of the 3 plays written in the other location to be done in South Africa, to be done in their location. So the first play that you saw, Waiting for Marcel, was written in the United States, and that was the play that was chosen by Jeffrey to be produced here. And you will see later that the play by Wessel Pretorius, which was written here, will be done in Iowa there later. The next play on the program, though, is Mike van Kraan's play, What We Wish For. If you check, I hope you've all got the programs, because the biographies of the writers are all in the programs. I'm not going to repeat them. But this particular play, What We Wish For, has been directed by Amy Jefter, who is also a lecturer in the drama department at the University of Cape Town and a playwright in her own right. And the cast, again made up of 4th year graduating students in acting from UCT, is Tankiso Mamabolo, Cleo Ratis, Kirosha Naidu, and Sizwe Mnisi.
I believe that's the right decision. I'm really sorry. I'll give you some time alone with him. If you change your mind about counseling, I'd be happy to arrange it.
Thank you, Doctor.
Let's give it one more day, David.
That's what we said 10 days ago. Let's give it one more week.
This would be like murdering our own child.
You heard what the doctor said, my love.
There was a 1 in 80 chance that he could recover.
It was 3 weeks ago. And every day that passes, the odds stack up even more.
I know. I know this with my head, but my heart says something else.
Even if he recovers, the doctors say he'll be a vegetable.
Then he'll be my spinach. My precious potato. I can't just give up on him.
Mary, we discussed this. We agreed.
It's not fair. A drunk driver goes to a red light, smashes into our son. He might get a fine, some jail time if we're lucky, but Thomas...
No, it's not fair.
What do you think God is trying to say to us?
Why bring God into this?
God gives. God takes.
There is no God.
That's why he did this.
Did what?
To make you acknowledge him.
Your God. The one that killed his own son is now trying to kill ours.
If you turn to God, ask him for a miracle.
If you need God to help you get through this, then fine. Just leave me out of it.
Which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is thy kingdom, thy power and thy glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Think again of the good that can come from this. Someone will get Thomas's heart. His kidneys will lengthen the life of another person.
Vultures, waiting for my son to die.
Our son.
Just one more day, David.
Torturing yourself.
Please.
One more day.
I beg you.
Another 5,000 rand.
How much is the life of your child worth to you?
If there was any chance of a medical recovery, then yes, I would pay it. But now we're wasting money we don't have.
No parent should have to bury their child.
We wouldn't be the first.
Stop being so rational, David!
I'll be downstairs.
He smiled. David, he smiled. I'm telling you, he smiled.
I'll be outside.
David!
Put him in a home.
We can't afford it.
If you get a job, then we can put him in a home that will help.
He needs me.
You can get your life back. Our life.
He's my son.
This is not our son.
Don't say that.
You didn't give birth to that.
He is your flesh and blood, but you hate him.
I don't hate him. I hate what he's doing to you. What he's doing to us. I'm worried about you. We can visit him every day.
Do you remember his first day at school?
I've been exploring a few places.
He was so excited.
There's one in Pineland.
He
That
tripped over
place.
his shoelaces, scraped his knee.
They come highly recommended.
I had hoped that would be the worst that could happen to him.
Have you seen the doctor?
Yes.
What did he say?
I'm fine.
He said you need to see a specialist.
Did he call you?
I saw him. Why didn't you tell me?
David, it's nothing.
Stomach ache for 2 weeks is not nothing, Mary.
I'll make an appointment for the next 2 weeks.
I've already made it.
Thomas! Thomas!
Let go. Let go, Thomas.
Don't upset him!
Let go!
Don't do that!
He's never done that
He
before.
doesn't know what he's doing! Will you put him to bed?
Sure. Why don't you go run a bath?
I'm not in the mood, David.
Just take a bath, Mary. Relax. I'll take care of Thomas. Bamba Papa Sekeki.
Okay, welcome back to Iowa City. We're going to see the play now by a graduate of the playwrights workshop here at the University of Iowa, Keith Joseph Atkins, in a play called The Disappointment, which was directed by Eric Forsyth, and it will feature Nikki Charisse Franco, Tish Jones, and Dimitri Taylor.
This is the only moment in 17 years that the cicadas spend any time together. She then uses her egg-laying tube as a saw, laying 30 eggs in each incision. When they hatch, they'll burrow into the soil. Job done.
So he deserves this? Unable to eat, unable to remember his name or his favorite color of socks?
His favorite color of socks? Oh my God, Stoney. What the fuck do his socks have to do with anything?
No, you're saying you enjoy seeing him suffer. What kind of fucking person are you?
I haven't said anything. Don't put your thoughts inside my mind. Try the toilet. It's a much better place for them.
Those are not my thoughts. Those are your pathetic, demented, and heartless thoughts. You know, someone needs to hire you to create a pathetic, demented, and heartless app for iPhone. You'd make millions and be the first asshole sister to make the cover of Forbes.
I'm watching TV. I like to watch TV. Shut up.
You take the one thing that ever meant anything to him and you throw it out. You throw it out like it's a celebration. What do you call that?
I don't know.
Well, you must call it something because the photo is in the trash.
Don't you and your gamer friends have a circle jerk session scheduled? I mean, isn't it super close to nerd hours?
It's not called circle jerk. It's circle combat. Cyber circle combat.
Circle jerk.
It's called cyber circle combat. Why did you throw out the photo, Patience?
Because the photo is old. I'm wearing those ridiculous Afro puffs. Your teeth are as big as your face, and he was high on crack or heroin or 80 proof. It's not the most appealing family photo, and I'm tired of looking at it.
He's not tired of it. It's his favorite.
Well, he doesn't get a lot of choices these days, does he?
Get it out of the trash, Patience.
Get away from me.
What is wrong with you? He is our brother.
He's 13 years older than us. He's practically an uncle.
He is our brother.
He is a substance abuser who stole money from us, laptops, iPhones, and every bit of communication he offered was a con or a hustle. That is not a brother, that is a drug addict.
So you are saying he deserves to be sick? He made us suffer, so now he must suffer?
We're watching this prehistoric flat screen because he stole our plasma for heroin.
You didn't answer my question.
Well, he won't be suffering much longer now, will he? Now, can I watch TV? It's a really interesting documentary. The 17-year cicada and its death-inducing mating habits. It's a lot to learn here.
Mrs. Clark is out of her gourd. I swear, her gourd. Is she a savant? I told her last week we appreciate the thought, but we really are not fans and have never been fans of tuna casserole. The tuna casserole's for birds, and I mean it. And you know what you did? Even after I explained to her that tuna in general upsets our digestives, she offered me another dish of tuna casserole with toasted breadcrumbs just now as I was coming up the driveway. She thinks that's going to help my culinary interest, titillate them. She is seriously out of her gourd, or she is plotting to poison us with the mercury in tuna. Does she not watch the NBC Nightly News or the Discovery Channel? I never liked her. She's relentless and it's embarrassing to the neighborhood.
She's just being nice, Mom.
Nice is a free round-trip cruise to the Caribbean with stops in Puerto Rico, Antigua, and the British Virgin Islands. That would be nice. She's not nice. She is relentlessly embarrassing. Why are you watching TV with no volume, Patience? There was a man at a hospital who stared at the TV all day and night for a week. We released him from the hospital and he went home and murdered his wife.
I had it on mute. Stoney was talking, I was trying to listen.
Either turn the volume up or turn the TV off.
What did you buy, Mom?
Another pair of pumps, a bathing suit, and a winter jacket. That clearance sale is outrageous. Any purchase of $100, you get a same-day $50 cash voucher. Of course, most people go back into the store and spend it, including me. I'm wearing these pumps to my high school reunion. It's not until next year, but those buttes will be in fashion. I think they easily make me look like I have the legs of an 18-year-old. Easily. Or maybe even a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Turn up the volume on the TV, Patience. Has he been doing this all day? I'm asking, has he been doing this all day?
A little. I think he's hungry.
Mom, your nose is bleeding. Mom, your nose is bleeding. What? Patience, get her a tissue.
We're out of tissue.
Then grab a paper towel, something. Not one you just used. Jesus. Mom, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Just a nosebleed. Stress-induced, temperature-induced. They happen, you just throw your head back until they stop. All right? Nothing to it. So what do you two want for dinner? I'm not in the mood for fixing anything extravagant. Oh, I can make some quinoa. Or I can fix some of that vegan paella that Amir brought to the hospital Christmas party. Takes about 30 minutes. Wait, I think I have some leftover spaghetti and turkey balls in the freezer. Throw them in the microwave and we'll be eating in 10 minutes.
I'm not really hungry. My stomach's still bothering me, stressed, I think.
Nothing like a bowl of spaghetti and turkey balls to get rid of the tight belly and stress.
And I'm going out with Angelica, so
Going where to do what, Patience?
it's a date. She likes me, I like her. We're going out on a date.
No, you're not. I forbid it. You're not going anywhere.
Why are you doing this, Patience?
Because I like Angelica. We're going out for gluten-free pizza.
Gluten-free.
She has gluten allergies. I promised her.
You met this chick online.
She is not a chick. Chicks are infant birds. She is a young woman who I like.
Who you met online.
And now I'm meeting in person. Just because you're an egghead and human interaction
Hey!
is paramount,
That's enough.
I personally
Enough.
need a whiff of their pheromones to make shit meaningful.
That's-
Mr. Cyber Circle Jerk Egghead.
That's
Did you
enough.
just call me an egghead?
Did you just call my girlfriend a
That's
chick?
enough. No one will leave this house until I say you can leave it. It could be a week, a month, a year even. You will stay within the parameters of these rooms until I give you permission to vacate them.
Mom, I want to go outside.
What happened to our family photo? I'm asking a question. Our family photo was sitting on this table for over 15 years. Me, the two of you, your father, and your brother. Happy times, memorable times. Unless it grew wings and flew away, I'd like to see it return to its proper home on this table now. So find it. I will not subscribe to these types of tricks. Do you two need translation?
He wants something.
What?
Maybe he wants a drink or a smoke.
He's a substance user. We're not giving him a drink or a smoke.
He's earned whatever he wants.
Gladys Monroe made an interesting comment at the hospital today. I was having my early morning coffee and donut in the employees' lounge. There were 2 doctors in there, a receptionist, and half dozen nurses, and another office admin like myself. And she said, I'd love to ask a hypothetical. Gladys always uses big words like that. Hypothetical, conundrum, intelligent words. She's a master at crosswords, better than me. She said, I'd like to pose a hypothetical. What would you do if you worked with someone who was caught on the surveillance cam stealing? Morphine and a pack of IVs and a medical monitor from engineering? Isn't that Gladys something? So keen, so observant. She said, I don't know about any of you. As long as they weren't stealing a dead body, I wouldn't give a shit. I love me some Gladys Monroe.
But that's not a hypothetical.
Shut up. The turkey balls will be ready in a minute. Just come grab your plates.
He fell.
Mom, we should call 911. Mom!
The day he was born, the temperature was 105. The sun was unbearable, unnatural. Your father, God rest his soul, drove 80 miles an hour to get me to the emergency room. Your brother's head was already crowning, and the AC wasn't working. As they were walking me to the labor room, he slipped out. I tried to catch him, but I was too slow. Not the right type of reflex. I never told you this before, but I'm telling you now. He hit the floor hard. His eyes opened just for a second. He looked at me like was a disappointment. I disappointed him. The situation disappointed him. Brand new to the world, and this is what happens? And no matter what I did as a mother, he was never satisfied. Not enough breast milk. Not the right kind of school shoes. Not enough attention. Not enough love.
Mom, stop.
I left him alone one time. And that man came in here, broke through the window. We all knew there was a prowler in the neighborhood, but we were certain that was over. And I only went to the store down the street just that one time. And I came back in here. Your brother's clothes were on the kitchen floor. And his little underwear. Oh. I looked all over the house for him. I screamed and screamed his name. He finally walked out from the kitchen pantry. He wasn't crying at all. He just was disappointed.
Mom, I'm hungry. I think I'm ready for those turkey balls.
He turned 14 and replaced that disappointment with beer, then marijuana, then vodka, cocaine, heroin, medicating himself, killing himself. The stealing that armed robbery, imprisoning us with his disappointment. And this world doesn't help his cause any longer.
Mommy?
Stoney, put the turkey balls back in the freezer. I'm not in the mood for turkey balls. First the addiction, now the cancer. Don't be grateful.
We can't do this to him. We can't take away his life.
It's time.
We shouldn't be doing this ourselves. He needs a hospital.
Patience, the photo is in the trash. Get it from there. He likes that photo.
Mom!
What? He's a fragile being incapable of tolerating the world he was forced into. You couldn't help him, your sister couldn't help him, the world wouldn't help him. And I wasn't provided with natural reflex. I don't want to disappoint him anymore.
So before we kick it back to Cape Town, I wanted to say that over these 4 years, we've had the good luck to work with our information technology services, particularly with Les Finken, who has guided us on this amazing journey that brings together not only theaters in different countries and different playwrights, but manages to make it take place over the internet. The first year we did this, we were dealing with a system that cost thousands of dollars, and by last year, when we put this together in Baghdad, we had just a computer and a web camera and our imagination. Now over to Mark in Cape Town.
Thank you. So the next piece we're going to see here tonight is Invisible Eden, and it was written by Mandla Mbotwe. And Mandla, who is the artistic manager here at the Artscape Theatre Centre, where we are this evening, also directed this particular piece together with Thando Doni, and it will be performed by Faniswa Yisa and Thando Doni.
palms beneath the river. We swim in the middle of the night.
I tasted the honey with your needle, smoothed the thorns with my own bare feet. For you rub the wound against the dead, for your own impatience for healing. Breathe in and out. You must breathe the past off your shoulders. You must learn to move on and let go.
So much hate, so much anger, so much disappointment.
So I tasted the honey with your needle, smoothed the thorns with my own bare feet. For you rub the wound against the dead, for your own patience for healing. You said,
drink,
and I drank. While you watched with a great smile of gratification, again you said,
taste,
and I tasted. Now my eyes are dry, not even a single drop of wetness. The words at night are the same as in day, and they all come with help. They say, stop!
Quiet.
Can you please make it stop? Please make it stop. I beg you, please, make it stop. Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop, make it. Can you hand to the gift? Sorrow the blessing. This hailstorm of stories made me go through closed doors, and I forged forward. While the cries come and I'm still vomiting hallucinations, this gift keeps me awake. It has made me a friend of disturbed mind, while liberating me from the sounds of his silent night.
Building up the temple, building up the temple, building up the temple of the Lord. There are boys to help us, girls to help us, building up the temple of the Lord. We are building up the temple, building up the temple, building up the temple of the Lord. There are boys to help us, girls to help us, building up the temple of the Lord. We are building up the temple, building up the temple. They say warnings come packaged like song done by the copperhead bird. Destroying the shadows of death.
I thought they were in a box.
It is said.
I thought the incense was...
So they say.
Well, it is hard for me to remain silent.
We are told.
You ran away, O great one, from boiling the herbs.
When stillness and silence conquered.
Not even a sound from your feet to cleanse by the riverside.
When hope taught me hymns of my new gospel.
I first stood there, took my time, watched my reflection in the water and my eyelids closed.
They all asked in confusion.
He is not breathing. He is no more.
I got misplaced.
You want the lessons? We are still moving.
Dig. Don't give up. Dig, they said. Dig, dig. Don't give up.
My father was a man of God. He wished more for freedom than he wished to be white. He always said that self-love is love for others. One must judge by grace.
He used to say, your children's foundation is your highest purpose.
Hug me. Prepare for me.
Let him free. Let him go home, they said. Set him free. Let him go home.
Mama, I long for a new story. Have you seen the new hymn?
People forget people. People forget people.
Hug me. Prepare for me.
Your father loved growing things. He loved to see things grow.
And for our final play, we will show the South African playwright Wessel Pretorius's Blood Pastoral, directed by Alan McVeigh and featuring Nikki Charisse Franco, Chris Matheson, and Skylar Matthias.
A child needs something to call its own. A pet, a plaything. I saw white children cuddle their puppies, their dolls, their remote control so-and-sos. And I thought, yes, please, how lovely. My father was the foreman of this land. All I had to caress was the soil. From it was born my imagination, a world of dark brown molds suggesting houses on uneven rocky streets, and little claymen with sticks for limbs and pebbles for the eyes and mouth. My father once brought home a stray dog, mixed breed pregnant. He delivered all 7 of her stillborn puppies on our kitchen floor. I saw their little carcasses spread across the linoleum, and I thought, how lucky for me then. My soil has nowhere to go, has no death. They can keep their living things with its ever-present promise of loss. My father was the caretaker of this soil. I've come home to bury him in it.
David? It's me again. Are you all right? Please answer. I've been trying to get a hold of you all morning. Did you arrive safely? Did you get a window seat? Oh, and how are the folks? I imagine your mother must have passed out from happiness when she saw you. Listen, the decorator sent me this email. She wants to know something about Ottomans. I'm lost here. Ottomans? Jesus, David, don't be cruel. I'm not even sure what an Ottoman is. She's getting very aggressive. A lot of the message was in German. Angry German! Answer the goddamn phone, please!
Merry Christmas! I bought Dad a tie. Is that too pedestrian? He still wears ties occasionally, right? Once a week at least for Sunday sermon? Oh well, it wasn't that expensive, so if he doesn't like it, just give it to... I was going to say give it to Peter. I forget. It's hard to envision a day on this farm without him. He was a good man, our Peter, wasn't he? How's Elizabeth? Is she still teaching in Johannesburg? I suppose she'll be back to bury the old man. Good man. Please answer. Please. Please. Please answer.
You'll be late.
I won't.
Do you have your ID?
Yes.
What about those nice underwear that I bought?
Yes, Mother.
And what about those nice...
Ma! Relax. I'm going to university, not shipping off to war. Everything's sorted. Sit down before you wear yourself out. I'll make us something to drink.
Let me be nervous, David. You made the rest of it obsolete. At least let me have worrying.
I did not make you obsolete, old woman. I grew up.
Old woman? You never called me that before.
Never crossed my mind till now.
Shame on you.
Oh, but I do still love you, old woman.
Then don't leave.
Fine by me. I'll put my things back in my room then.
No. Don't be silly.
Oh?
Of course you have to go.
And why is that? Why, of course. No one else has ever left this farm, and they seem perfectly happy.
Do they? We have some gifted actors in our family, then.
You're happy?
I am.
So
you will not be. You're not me. Like me, I mean.
Am I like Father, then? Who would never dream of leaving this place?
You are David. And how that happened is one of the dear Lord's tender but mystifying mercies. No. You will leave this farm for good, that I know. And you visit us once a year for Christmas, and for the rest of it I'll receive long prosaic letters and postcards with romantic pictures of lakes and gondolas and Roman statues.
You have it all figured out, hey?
Just leave the dreaming to me, my boy. You do all the work and I'll do the dreaming.
I see.
Now, come here and kiss the old woman before she turns to dust. The wind is picking up.
There was a report on the radio this morning of unrest over there. Burning. People are setting fire to the entire country, it seems. All along the main roads. Did you see any of it?
I just need to know you're out of danger, that's all. I bought an orchid. It died. I killed an orchid, David. I had it for one day and I let it die. Is that even possible? You need to come home as quick as you can. Your tropical fish are looking a tad panicked.
Dad?
My boy.
I'm sorry.
For what?
The tie.
I like it.
You don't. It's okay.
No, really. It's a good tie. A bit extravagant for Sunday service, but I could wear it to a wedding or a black funeral.
Dad.
David, I beg you. I've taken gigantic strides in my personal growth to accommodate you, but don't sour my day with this European PC obsession you've acquired over there.
Oh, it's not European, Pa. It's common courtesy.
Bullshit. Peter had a sense of humor. I never had to walk on eggshells or explain myself.
He was your employee.
He was my friend. And a grown man, I never treated him as anything else.
What did you mean to accommodate me?
You know.
But for absolute clarity's sake...
Are you looking for a fight? It's Christmas. You haven't been here in ages. I don't want to argue.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm asking.
This has never been an environment accustomed to discourse on the topics of sex and all its shades of gray.
I'm gay, Dad. Pretty simple. Just say it once.
You are looking for a fight.
No! I'm teasing. I know. Thank you.
For what?
For being open to wearing that tie in public.
It's a good tie.
David? I don't know whether to be scared or pissed off. This is voice message number 2. Many, do they not have signal on that farm? Listen, I'm trying to make a trifle to take to dinner with Bill and Jessica, and I've managed to engineer the atomic bomb. I need some advice. Was soy milk where I went wrong? Also, I bought you the collected works of Armistead Marpin as a present. I'm telling you this because I'm giving it to Bill and Jessica. I forgot to buy them something, and this was all I had. I'll get you something else later. Perhaps some tropical fish? These ones are looking a tad suicidal right now. I've been eyeing the rat poison. Are you sure you want to marry me? I seem to inhibit life expectancy. Call me back, you bastard.
I left because I had to. It's a well-worn tale. I missed my father every day since the day I left. I even missed the house. It was cramped and it had a leaky roof. And my bed was too small, but it had something of the cross about it. Every night I could forgive them because they know not what they do. And every morning I woke up clean. I left to teach. To teach what I had learned outside of school. Oak and thornbush and the smell of squash marules seeping between the webbing of your toes. The city children soon enough made it clear to me that they had no interest in my quaint philosophies. I was being counterproductive. Now I teach maths and only maths. 1 + 1 is 2, and there is no denying that. It adds up, like the future. And that's all that counts.
Welcome home, Elizabeth.
Thanks. Same to you.
You look well.
I am well. Is that a ring?
Yes, I'm engaged.
Congratulations! Is she British?
He is.
He? You mean...
You can't be too surprised.
And to believe you broke my heart once.
I did.
I was very much in love with you, yes.
You should have said something.
I was 5.
Yes, that would have been too late. I fell in love with Lucas when we were 4.
Lucas? Really?
Out of my league?
Most definitely, but he is my brother, so I might be a little biased.
Is he still around?
No, he left shortly after I did.
Well, Peter, your father was probably not too happy about that.
He encouraged it, actually. After I wrote home about how I was making enough money to rent my own flat, buy my groceries from Woolworth, and wear the dresses from a cover of a magazine, he thought Lucas ought to have the same benefits.
And did he?
Lucas found other benefits. They all include women with hyphenated surnames.
Ah. After being cooped up here with only the goats and geese to talk to.
Are you glad you left?
I had to.
Of course.
And you?
I always say have, but I suppose it wouldn't have killed me to stay. He was alone towards the end.
Yes. I'm sorry about your loss. He wasn't, though. Alone. He had friends. My father cherished him dearly. I doubt he got around to saying it much, but take it from me, he has ways of showing it that illuminate themselves in hindsight.
Thank you. Well, I'm off. I have a funeral to organize. A black funeral. Who's that coming up the road? Are you expecting company?
Not that I know of.
That car has no number plate.
Probably an old farm car, I'm sure. Probably the old farming kids just learning how to drive.
David, that car has 5 men in it. Where are your parents?
They're in the house. Why?
Go to them, lock the doors, hide in the cellar.
No, don't be silly. Paranoia is supposed to be my people's thing.
Please just do it. Trust me.
Hello? David? I bought an ottoman today. It doesn't go with anything. I'm lost here. I keep calling your number. I keep leaving voice messages. I don't know why. There is a very weak part of my brain that wants to delude itself, needs to believe that you will answer eventually. Also, your voice message recording's the only sound of yours I have left. I listen to it every morning. I fall asleep to it every night. When I put it on speaker, I swear, I bloody well swear those goddamned tropical fish of yours prick up their ears, or whatever it is they have. Fish have ears. Right? See. Useless. How am I ever going to get through this life without you? David, who could make even the fish look up. Please, please, please answer.
I left home to be an honest man. To be, pardon the cliche, but to be free. I came home to be an honest son. To greet the same mornings I did for 18 years. Free. To shake my father's hand with the same hand I used to run my fingers through Edward's hair. Edward, of whom it could be said I loved freely. When they pressed that barrel to my head, I had the same feeling I had when I left here and when I finally came back. Fear. But with the knowledge of an unknowable freedom waiting at the other side, there is no more fear. Just waiting for an answer, for someone to please answer.
They stormed the house without much fuss. They entered the front door like guests. They took as much as they could. They left with a trail of red footprints in the ground. This is the story of the farm I grew up on. My father was the caretaker of this soil. I have come home to bury his family in it.
Hello, you've reached the phone of Dada Russo. I'm not available right now, but please feel free to leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Oh yes. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to us all.
Okay, thank you. And we've got a few minutes left to do some talk back. I'm going to invite on stage Eric and Alan and whoever else we have. And we should be able to see over to Cape Town, right? Do we still have Cape Town?
Mike? Yes, we're here.
Ah.
So Mike and Mandla and Vessel, you want to come up on stage?
Okay, and the students who have to get to class, feel free. Meantime, Mike, it's good to see you.
Is there another microphone that they...
Mark, you'll be happy to know my daughter just offered you a microphone, but I don't think that's going to work across these miles. And welcoming Tish Jones to the stage. This is Alan McVeigh, the director, Eric Forsyth, the other director, and Tish Jones.
And here are the three authors, Mandla Mbotwe, Mike van Graan, Vessel Pretorius, and Amy and Jeff and, who was the third? Tando. Do you want to come up as well? Yes, please. Amy, where are you? Tando.
Okay.
Sit here, Amy.
Okay, so I'm not sure, Chris, what you can see, but just for introductions, on the far right, my right, is Mike van Graan, then is Vessel, then Amy Jefter, Mandla Mbotwe, Tando Doni, and Jeffrey Hyland.
It's all clear to us, and I think that you have, again, Alan McVeigh, Eric Forsyth, and Tish Jones. So are there questions here in this audience?
Sorry, didn't get that?
I'm just seeing if there are questions in our audience for you or for our people.
And are there any questions? Can you just indicate also here at the same time so I can get a sense if there are questions?
Yeah. Yeah. A question here for Vessel, wondering what you thought of the ways in which we put it together.
I thought it was very good, very interesting. Yeah, thank you. It was beautiful, and there, of course. Sorry, theater actor. Never seen a camera in my life. I thought it was very, very clean, very well put together, and beautifully performed by the actors. Yeah, it was nice to see. Thank you.
Can I say a word about it? Yeah, I'd just like to say a word about. I directed the play, and I found it to be very rich. When I first read it, I thought that it was a piece of poetry, which would be difficult to make clear in the theater, because it moves back and forth in time, and one actress plays several roles. But as we worked on it, it seemed to me to be quite clear. I don't know if the audience could follow it. I hope so. But I thought it was beautifully written. Really, just lovely language. A very the texture of it, which contains both great love and also the tensions, a variety of tensions, all integrated in a very organic way. I thought it was a lovely play, and I felt very fortunate to work on it. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is there anybody in our audience who would like to pose a question, or anybody? Okay, at the back there.
I just want to ask the authors to comment on the theme of death that I noticed. I mean, I think there was a theme of release, I'm assuming. And for me, the issue of death came out in every single one of those shows. So just to comment on it, I suppose.
Did you hear that, Christopher?
We've got it, yes. We're looking forward to hearing what the playwrights think.
Yeah, I thought it was I must be honest, I thought the theme was quite simple. It was release. I mean, we sang quite a lot of release Nelson Mandela. So I thought the theme was quite simple, but as I started actually noting things down, and then it became many things, and I tried to actually try and capture those many things, but I ended up becoming stuck in one particular place, which is the death, the releasing of someone, and the memory refusing to release that person, and the emotions refusing to release that person, and also being stuck at that particular point of pain, so that the pain itself refuses to release you to move on. And so death was, yeah. So I think it's because of the death also represented South Africa for me, where it is, and the spirit of, or the effort or the pressure of being forced to move on, and undermining the death and the healing process. And for me, I think that was the point.
Yeah, I suppose for me, writing a piece about the theme of release post-Mandela, and to commemorate, or in the light of 20 years of our democracy and so on, would have been kind of quite a simple thing to do, using political theme, or interpreting the theme politically. And I suppose what I chose to do was to, in a way, reflect on death in a society that was supposed to experience life. Because I think if anything has happened post-1994, it is that the incidence of death, in a way, has kind of increased. 1,000 people dying every day of HIV/AIDS related diseases, for me, wasn't supposed to happen post-1994. The high incidence of homicide, murders in our country, 45 to 54, depending on which year it is. Every single day, people dying. So there was this kind of expectation that our new country would be one in which people would live long lives, but it's a country in which our average life expectancy kind of declined from 62 in the dying days of apartheid to about 50 when Thabo Mbeki was in power. And for me, that's kind of indictment on what the release of Nelson Mandela was all about. So in some ways, the piece was kind of quite a personal piece in the sense that it was about a family coming to terms with something which they had given birth to, but which didn't turn out to be what they kind of expected. So metaphorically, I suppose, it reflects on our country in that way. But at the same time, it was also about so much death in our country is kind of imposed on people. And this was about, in a way, people taking responsibility for that which they did not want, or that which they wanted to alter, or that which they did not expect. So it's a 10-minute piece, so one can do very little within that, but I suppose those were some of the themes that I was trying to explore. And I think that, it was certainly a very clear thing that came out in all 6 pieces. The theme of death as a kind of release was certainly pervasive.
Yes. Okay, Chris?
Hello, I'm Tish Jones. I want to comment on the universality of all the plays. That's what struck me the most is, for example, the first one that we did dealt not only with voting during Mandela's time, but also our voting today, which is problematic. We have a big issue with voting today. That's just an example of one of the plays that was touched us here and hopefully was able to touch you, that it basically unified our countries. And that made me happy.
What struck me about all of the plays was the grimness, the death, all of which needs to happen before the transcendence and the release can make any sense. I'd like to see 6 plays about the transcendence itself, and I don't know if that's possible to do. So I'm challenging the playwrights, please write us plays about transcendence. Thanks.
Small order. Are there other questions here?
Please indicate if you have any.
Do we have any questions on Twitter we want to pass along? Not yet. Okay.
This one is for the actors, but did the theme of release influence your performance in any way, or how you viewed the plays?
Did you hear that question? I think maybe we didn't
The
get
question,
were you able to hear?
Did the theme of release affect the actors in any way? Question directed to the actors.
Yeah, and we can direct it as well to the directors too on stage. Dimitri, you want to come and say a word?
Okay, release. The pain that you go through during release, I think that's how it influenced my performance a lot. It's like the 2 plays I did required a lot of pain on my part. And it's incredible to have to go through that amount of pain to finally release. But isn't that what we go through with childbirth? At least that's what I went through. To have the release, you got to have all that pain.
For me, I guess I as well just kind of used a lot of my past experiences, what I kind of went through, you know, throughout, you know, my younger ages, I'm only 22, but, you know, just kind of what I went through in the past, and just use that to incorporate it, especially in dealing with, you know, having to kill someone. I mean, I've never done that, but having to take myself to a place, you know, of that much pain inside of me to where, you know, I would want to actually kill someone. I mean, it took a lot, and then at the end, having to release that finally. It's out, it's over with. Now I am on the run, but it was, you know, kind of my influence in a way, so.
We're very quiet this side,
Yeah.
which is unusual. There is a, can we get up there, clear?
I was in What We Wish For, and my character, and I think it's just the way we create our characters. My character had released throughout the play, so because he and his wife were so tense all the time, there were moments where I'd have to really step back and step out, and then continue our conversation, and step back and step out and continue our conversation, because it felt like I was trying to always push her in the direction that I wanted her to go. And in order to do that, I would have to change my tactic all the time. So every time I changed my tactic or the way I spoke to her or just the angle that I was approaching her with, I would have to let go of the previous state that we got ourselves into. And we continuously get ourselves back to that state and back to that state. And I enjoyed the play. But then I think that particularly when you ask about the actors and how we felt release, I would say, and I might be completely off topic here, but I would say that is how my character continuously had to, I don't know how many times I had to do it, but I always had to let go and approach, let go and approach. And for that, that's maybe just how I resonated with your question on release.
Thank you.
Donna, yeah?
I was in the first piece as Suzanne. The only thing I really have to say about release was the fact that there's a large portion of risk involved with actually letting go of something. So, I mean, in our case, accepting the fact that we were finally being saved, we were being taken to safety, but there was still a large proportion of risk involved in that, and I think that extends into the risk of accepting death, of letting go. There is a certain, a risk of the unknown and the uncertain, which I think is something that we also are dealing with at the moment in our country.
Thank you. We have another question here from a playwright.
First of all, congratulations, just gorgeous work. This is a question for artists, the artists in both countries. You're collectively exploring a new medium, hybrid, stage and film, and I just wanted to know if anyone had any reflections on what you learned as we're exploring this new nascent form.
This is the fourth year we've done this, and from then until now, I've learned to pay attention to the camera. As a stage director, I think about space and geometry in one way, but as working for the camera, then you think of it in different ways. And I think that's I don't have much more to say than that, but it's a fairly big thing. Yeah. Eric, anything you want to add?
So it's a kind of double focus, isn't it?
For sure, and I mean, it's a huge question. I mean, how different are the media? Of course, they're hugely different, and yet they share so many elements. So we have a kind of a Venn diagram there of overlapping. And if you forget the one, it's not going to work so well in the other medium. If you forget the other, it's not going to work so well there. It's a tricky challenge for the director. For the actor, it's a matter of dynamic and size, economy, not doing too much, not doing too little. It has to work for the auditorium, and yet it has to work for the close-up at the same time. That's a challenge.
Do any of the Cape Town directors want to make any comment on that score? We don't have anything to say this end about that. Can we ask a question regarding how the playwright who wrote the first play received our version, our staging of his play?
Well, Mark, you can ask the question, but since the playwright is not here, we'll hope that he replies in some larger form. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just one quick thing, which was that I thought that all of the plays that you presented were beautifully directed, and responding to that one in particular, but all three had the staging was beautiful, the rhythm of them was extremely nice, and the acting was very good. So it was quite impressive.
Thank you. We have a question here.
It's a comment and a question. Just to say that I was really pleasantly surprised to see, the technology and the physical and the online working so well together. And we talk about this being a nascent project. Really, it's a very simple idea, but we should be using this technology a lot more because it can work. And then it occurred to me, what if we did a combination of the two? So doing a real live act, using actors from overseas as well as those, present, but together, if you know what I mean. So simultaneous acting in a sense, on stage and off stage, acting in the same play. That would be quite tricky, but really interesting. I mean, taking it to the next level, I think, something to think about.
Well, Dare Club, who asked the earlier question about this nascent form, has been having that very conversation. So if you don't mind, I think we'll try to follow up with you to think about ways that we might be able to make that take shape.
Good. We look forward to trying out the experiment.
Because it is ultimately an experiment. I should tell you that when the idea for this came about in Moscow 4 years ago as a part of the bilateral presidential commission to reset relations between the U.S. and Russia. And at the opening meeting, we were going through very blah, blah, blah kind of introductions. And Anatoly Smelyansky, the artistic director of the Moscow Art Theatre School, jumped to his feet and he said, we've trained 1,000 American students in the Stanislavski method over the last 20 years, and now I can talk to my daughter every night in Boston on Skype. Can't we figure out a way to make something happen within this, with the internet and within this medium? And that's what started this journey. And I think, frankly, the question that the young woman just asked is the question we're asking ourselves now. What's the next step in this journey? And it's likely doing something at the same time on both stages and over the internet, creating something new and seeing where that might take us. Yeah. Okay, if you didn't hear that, Peter Ulian, the playwright of the first play, which you staged, loved the staging. He thought it was beautiful, just fantastic. And, well, that's what it's all about, right? He got that into 144 characters.
Thanks for getting the answer.
Yeah.
Well, we don't seem to have any more comments or questions this side, Christopher.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty much at the same place, and we have students who have to get to class. So I'm going to thank you and Mike and all the actors and directors and playwrights for making this fly. We say that Book Wings makes literature fly, and you've done exactly that, and now we look forward to the next stage of that journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for including us in this evening.
On what?
Exactly.
What is he working on?
Precisely so.
What is the title?
Yes!
Yes is the title.
No, are you simple? What is the title?
That's what I'm asking you.
What are you asking me?
The title.
I just told you.
You don't know the title.
Of course I do. It's what?
The title is what?
As I said.
Watch! W-A-T-T, watch! Ah, what? Funny title for a book?
It's genius. It's genius. It'll make you famous.
So you are the Irishman that...
Were he the Irishman that you speak of? And I his beautiful Gallic travelling companion. We have been on foot, walking at night, sleeping on haystacks during the day. Our feet are so swollen, we cannot even take off our boots. Ever since a Catholic priest betrayed our resistance unit and we had to flee Paris. The rest of our cell either in hiding or undergoing torture at the hands of the Gestapo. So you will perhaps forgive us if the fact that you are Gaston and not Marcel makes us a wee bit edgy.
Insuspicious.
You are damnably correct, sir.
Man must take a leap of faith, writes Kierkegaard. But what if a man has no faith?
You don't believe in God?
It is not that he doesn't believe in God, monsieur. It's that he isn't exactly sure that God believes in us.
Well, where do you suppose you're to leave the resistance after?
Across the border into the unoccupied zone. Onto Roussillon, I imagine. There the little leaf will likely take a room at the widow's Pierre's guest house. The widow is strong of opinion, but good of heart. And she does all the cooking for her guests herself. It's peasant fare, not the sort you Parisian types are used to maybe, but good enough for that leaf. Hungry as it is, pot de fer, ratatouille, and beurre bourguignon. Although the buff is a little hard to come by these days. The rooms in the Hotel Escoffier are drafty, and there's mice, but not too many fleas. And the leaf can put its head on a pillow at night instead of on a haystack. And hang up its socks and air out its boot, and both will be dry in the morning. And twice a day, the leaf can gather with the locals around the stove in the back kitchen and listen to the BBC on the wireless and find out who's winning the war.
You know we're talking about a bloody leaf, don't you?
There's food and shelter and men and women of the resistance waiting in Roussillon. The leaf can blow in on the wind. You need me. Shall we?
Yes. Let's. Prudent.
What?
The pimp's name was Prudent, not Prudence. What kind of a name is Prudence for a pimp?
Thank you, South Africa. Wonderful performance. And now we're going to move it over here to Iowa City. And we have a play called Sikawa Street by Katori Hall. directed by Alan McVeigh, who is the chairman of our Performing Arts Division. And it will be acted by Tish Jones, Dimitri Taylor, and Nikki Charisse Franco.
Where's that rebel? Oh! Have you heard?
They're still counting the ballots. Won't know until midnight.
Who did you vote for?
Nomawetu, what kind of fool do you take me for? The winner, of course.
But neighbor, you've been wrong before.
Yes, because I couldn't vote before.
Felt good, didn't it?
Oh, yes. Come out with me. Join us in the celebration. Get on your dancing shoes.
You are surely sure of your pick.
Confidence creates revolution.
I must feel this aching belly of mine first. Fuel for celebration.
Me too. My feet stood in line for voting all morning and stood on them all day till night at the hospital. But I don't care. I don't care. I will dance till my toes crack with blood when I hear the good news.
Madiba, God willing, will win.
Or I shall kill them all.
Hey, come back. You know my door is always open.
We interrupt this broadcast for an election update. Nelson Mandela of the African National Congress is now showing a considerable edge in the polls with 55% of the vote. However, rumors of violence have kept many South Africans, black and white, at home. Corruption is said to be widespread, and poorly prepared voting locals have made standing in long lines the norm, rather than the exception during South Africa's first democratic election.
I had to carry my mother on my back here to Port Elizabeth. We've been standing in line all night.
Signing off with BBC News.
There you are. I've been waiting for you.
Sorry, Mom. Didn't mean to cause you worry.
So you know you make me worry.
Yes, I do.
You did this when you were in my womb.
Mama.
Would sit quiet for weeks and then all of a sudden knock on my tummy to make your presence known.
Knock? I don't knock.
You are right. You do not knock. You come in uninvited, unawares.
Mama,
it
please.
looks ugly on you.
Please, Mama.
Eat. Eat. I won't have you sputtering out on us when Madiba wins.
Who are we waiting for?
You know who. Why do you have to ask such stupid questions?
I ask stupid questions to challenge stupid actions.
Your sister must eat.
Memories do not eat.
Yes, my little rebel, they do. They eat dreams, they eat days, sunsets, and sunrises.
Now, who you are, monsieur, is still a mystery.
No. There's no mystery about me at all. I know fully well who I am. I am the man who's supposed to meet the Irishman and his companion. Are you or are you not the Irishman?
That is the question.
Okay, this is ridiculous. How many Irishmen can there be in the spot of France? Huh?
Well, maybe this part of France is bloody lousy with Irishmen.
Is that likely?
We live in strange and terrible times, my friend.
Listen, I'm looking for an Irishman whose angular feature, who looks not a little bit like a rooster.
I always said you look like a rooster.
Suzanne, traveling with a lady companion who goes by the name of Suzanne.
Is he a writer, your Irishman?
It's not my bloody Irishman.
Is he a writer?
Yes, I am told. A failed one.
Well, I must say, it's very nervy of you.
He is not a failed writer, your Irishman. He is a published author. More pricks than kicks. Published in 1938 to great acclaim.
Never heard of it.
Murphy.
Who's Murphy? Ah, is Murphy the Irishman?
His novel, published in 1938 to great acclaim.
Never heard of it either. So you are the Irishman?
I am the Irishman, if you are Marcel.
I'm not Marcel. I'm Gaston.
Well, then perhaps I'm not the Irishman. We were told you would be Marcel.
I've never been Marcel. I've always been Gaston.
Then why didn't they say Marcel?
Marcel has been indisposed.
Do you mean
indisposed?
Or
indisposed?
Do you people always talk like this?
You did not say he was indisposed. Would you bring to mind a condition of indigestion, or perhaps influenza, or ague, or dare even imagine gout? But you said he has been indisposed, as if the indisposition were an act perpetrated upon him by others.
By which others?
Well, that depends, does it not?
Depends. Depends on what?
If you are of one, shall we say, persuasion, or perhaps if you prefer, allegiance, or even, shall we say, affiliation, then the other is an entity in opposition to that for which you claim allegiance and affiliation. But if you claim allegiance and affiliation to its opposite, its shadow, its photographic negative, as it were, then the other is quite the reverse.
Yeah. Does he always talk like this?
He's a genius.
That must be why I can't make head nor tail of what he says.
Are you?
Gestapo.
Me? Gestapo? How dare you, monsieur?
Well, you're not Marcel.
Just because I'm not Marcel doesn't mean I'm Gestapo. Not every bloody Frenchman who isn't Marcel is a bloody collaborator, you know?
Well, then how was it that Marcel became indisposed?
Look, all I know is that I'm to transport the Irishman and his lady companion in the boot of my car past the checkpoint of Chalon-sur-Saône that separates the occupied zone from the unoccupied zone, and then onto the village of Roussillon. I am the passeur, monsieur. Now, are you or are you not the Irishman who in 1938 was stabbed in the chest and nearly killed by a pump named Prudence?
A pimp named Prudence.
Prudence the pump.
How do you know about that? How does he know about that?
Well, it was in all the papers.
Well, as you would remember, such a mortifying event. Oh, I'm nobody. I'm a failed writer.
You are not a failed writer. More bricks than kicks. Murphy.
No one read them. Gaston didn't read them.
Well, Gaston doesn't strike me as much of a reader.
Hey, I read the racing form.
Sam, the novel you're working on. What?
What?
Yes.
He's working.
Welcome to Bookwings South Africa. This is the 4th year that we have had the good luck at the International Writing Program to bring together playwrights from distant parts of the world with American playwrights for a unique theatrical experience. We will be broadcasting live here in Iowa City and at the University of Cape Town, a distance of 9,000 miles, 7 hours time difference. And from what I understand, the weather's pretty similar today in Cape Town to what it will be here maybe in a month. 70 degrees, 24 degrees centigrade, we can dream of good weather. This project takes place under the auspices of the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the U.S. State Department, and I'm deeply grateful to our friends in Washington, as well as the people at the embassy in Pretorius and the consulate in Cape Town, and most of all to Mike Van Graan, who comes to us from the African Arts Institute. When we conceived of this project, we thought 25 years after Nelson Mandela was released from prison, what would happen if we bring together American and South African playwrights to explore in short plays a common theme? And the theme we hit on was release. So what you will see today, moving from stage to stage, from Iowa City to Cape Town and back, will be 6 different takes on this very suggestive idea of release. This could not happen without an extraordinary number of talented individuals who are thanked in the brochure, the Bookwings program, which members of the audience have, and you can download at our website, iwp.uiowa.edu. At the conclusion of the performance, we'll have a talk back. We'll be entertaining questions from the audiences in Iowa City and in Cape Town, and we invite all of our viewers around the world, particularly those at watch parties in Ghana, in the University of York, in England, and at Kirkwood Community College, to tweet us questions at #BookW. That's #BookW. Those questions we'll entertain at the end of our time together. So just a reminder to silence your cell phones unless you're watching over the internet, then you can do whatever you like with your cell phone. And now I'm going to kick it over to our colleagues in Cape Town. My fellow host is Professor Mark Fleischman from the Drama Department at the University of Cape Town. He's the program convener for theaters and for theater and performance. He's the co-artistic director of the Magnet Theater. He teaches across a range of theoretical and practical courses, and his research includes work on physical theater, interactive dramaturgy, site-specific community-based performance and technology, and live performance. And I can't wait to see what you folks have put together for us over in Cape Town. Over to you, Mark.
Hi, good evening. This is very weird. Good evening, Christopher, and everybody in Iowa. Greetings from Cape Town. We are very happy to be part of this very interesting and exciting project. And thank you very much in advance from all of us for including us in this year's event. I hope that technically this is all working and you can hear us there. Can you just signal that you can? Am I talking into a void?
We have you. You are so clear, both visually and acoustically. We're thrilled.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to kick off the performance proceedings tonight with the first of the 6 plays. And the first play, as you will see in your program, is entitled Waiting for Marcel by Peter Ulian, who, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who wrote this play, obviously based in the United States, in Iowa. And it was directed in Cape Town by Jeffrey Highland, the head of the Department of Drama at the University of Cape Town, and will be performed by 3 of our graduating acting students, Skalk Bezuidenhout, Donna Cormack-Thompson, and Roberta Meyer.
Are you sure this is the right place?
Assuredly.
Not that section of blasted heath over there.
The blasted heath, with a mound of earth, with a barren tree upon it, bereft of all but one lone leaf.
Why do you suppose that one lone leaf clings like that? Despite the discouragement of the weather in the war.
I couldn't say. Habit, I suppose.
I don't think you give our brave little leaf enough credit, sir. Here it clings, whilst all around is devastation. Have it you say? Resistance, I say. Resistance is why the leaf clings.
We are talking about a leaf, you know that, don't you?
When will they be here?
Soon.
Can we trust them?
Have we any other choice?
We shouldn't have left. Why did we have to leave?
Well, the Gestapo are certainly a motivating factor.
No, not Paris, Jean Frey.
It's August.
No, not January, Jean Frey, the village.
We had overstayed our welcome.
No, you had overstayed your welcome. You walked into the kitchen every day with your chamber pot just as we
I was up all night. I was working on what?
You and your novel.
I thought you loved what?
What you love what? It's genius. That's not the point. The old lady in the house called you a madman in Russian.
You speak Russian.
I feel murdering me.
I begged you to wear some sensible shoes.
Bonsoir. Well, I must say, I thought I'd never find you. Upon the blasted heath, they said. You will find them upon the blasted heath. But which section of blasted heath? Ah, the whole landscape is a blasted bloody heath. By the tree, they said. Which tree? That's a boom, there's more than one. The one that's all scraggly and bare. They are all scraggly and bare. The one that yet displays one lone leaf, bravely withstanding the winds of weather and the winds of war. They said, a noble leaf, not in appearance certainly, shriveled and dry as it is, but in spirit. Ah, the most noblest leaf of all creation. Well, if you go in for that sort of thing, creation, I mean. So you are the Irishman.
Well, that remains to be seen.
What remains?